Hello everyone. I thought it was time for another video regarding what was formerly known as the nCoV-19 coronavirus and my line of work. Now, the first thing I'd like to get out of the way is the fact that the nCoV-19, the coronavirus, has been renamed as of last week. It is now called the COVID-19. CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus, D stands for disease, and 19, of course, represents the year it was discovered / identified. Next thing I'll get out of the way, for those of you who may not know, is I am a professional personal support worker. I've been doing this job for a lot of years. I've had my papers for 8, and I've been in home care for that time, well, 8 plus, 8 and a quarter. And I've been doing home care that whole time. I am also a union steward, and I am a certified member of a joint health and safety committee, and I'm also the co-chair on that committee. I am not a doctor or a nurse, but I am a science nerd and medical nerd. And any information I get, such as that surrounding the COVID-19, I run through the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, or the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. So there you go. Now, being in home care, I can only speak to home care. And anything I see that says it has to do with home care PSWs, I will, of course, I must check that out. And I have been checking out certain websites and that sort of thing, including some associations that say they speak for us. There was one in particular that caught my interest because, well, I'll explain why. They put out these protocols, and one of the things they had listed was it was under, I believe it was duty of care. And what it said was, if you go into the home and you have someone you suspect of having the coronavirus, you should, and I quote, report to local health authorities immediately, end quote. No, that's not how it works in home care. Now, we are governed by a lot of rules, regs, policies, and procedures. The Ministry of Health has theirs, and your employer, whoever they are, has theirs. We are governed by those. We are also governed by a piece of legislation, which is what pertains to this, called FIPA, Personal Health Information Protection Act. What that means is any of the people you see, their names, addresses, conditions, anything about them, you are not allowed to share with anyone. Okay, so if you go into a house and someone is sick and you think they may have the coronavirus, you're not allowed to just call the local public health authority. See, here's the thing. What the COVID-19 does is it's a pneumonia type thing. And there are many different types of pneumonia. But you cannot tell by hearing someone's cough whether they have pneumonia or not. And given the, the atmosphere now with this whole COVID-19, and people are tending to panic about it, you may hear a cough and think, oh my gosh, they must have the coronavirus. You may be wrong for one thing, but anyway, that aside, you're not allowed to just call the local public health authority and tell them. When we go into a home, if there's anything wrong with the patient, depending on the severity, we either note it, ask them if they want help. If they say no, fine. If they allow you to call 911, then you do that. Or if there's a spouse in the house, you can have them call 911. After that, you report it to your supervisor. You see, that's what we do. We are only allowed to speak to our supervisor or the spouse in the house. Some people may say, oh, family members. Well, some patients may not want certain family members to know certain things. So no, not just any family member. Spouse is different. But yes, your supervisor. And the thing of it is, you cannot tell from someone's cough and fever if they have the coronavirus. The only way to know if they have COVID-19 or the flu even, or any of the pneumonias, is to have a swab done and confirmed by a lab. Now, some of you may be a little panicky and may assume that. Well, you shouldn't assume. You've probably heard that saying, if you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Well, if you assume, it may lead to a panic, and, you may say the wrong thing and you may upset the patient, and it could all go wrong from there. So when you go into a house, if someone is sick, okay, fine. If you want to assume they may have the coronavirus, fine, but don't call the local health authority. Report it to your supervisor. And if they're bad enough, you suggest calling 911. And if they say fine, then yes. If they tell you no, then don't, but let your supervisor know. What else? There was something else in there I was going to say as well. Oh gosh. Yeah, you can strongly if it's not that bad, if they say no to 911 or whatever, calling someone, I strongly recommend you see your doctor. That's all we can do. And the other thing too is we're not allowed to diagnose. I mean, the thing is, because I know so much, I've gone into places, I've seen things, and I'll know exactly what that is. I can't say though. I'll say, you may want to have your doctor look at that, but I know exactly what it is. We'll eventually the note comes through that it was confirmed, and I'm like, nailed it. But we cannot diagnose. We cannot say, oh, I think you have the flu. Oh, I think you have. No. All you can say is, I'm sorry you're feeling poorly. I strongly recommend you speak to your doctor, or is there someone you would like me to call? And then you report and record. Record it in the record in the home or and on your device. Like we have to do it in the home, then we have to do it on the device. But depending on the severity, you may have to speak to your supervisor live. You do not go and call the local public authorities. No. And as for long-term care, they have their own protocols. They have a nurse. If you suspect anything, they'll tell their nurse. We don't have a nurse with us in the field. That's why we have to think and act, keeping a level head on our own, and make the decisions that need to be made. So yeah, and my thing is I don't want to see anyone get into trouble because of misinformation out there. You see, someone may read this and say, oh, well, okay. And then they go to a house and someone sneezes and then, oh my gosh. And then they call the public health authority and then they get into trouble for breaking FIPA. So no. As I said, if you suspect anything, and PPE, that's another thing. Make sure you carry your PPE with you. I have a pocket full of gloves. I have a baggie here with masks in it. I have gowns in the car and booties and goggles if I need them, and N95s as well. Always have PPE just in case, because you never know what you're going to walk in on. But other than that, yeah, report and record, but to your supervisor. Do not call the local health authority if you think someone has the coronavirus, because A, they may not, and B, you're breaking the law. Yeah, as I said, I don't want to see anyone get in trouble for that. So that is it. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourself, get fresh air, wash your hands before touching your face when you've been out and around. Remember to use proper PPE as you need it. And this too shall pass. Yes, the numbers are still going up, but remember, most of it is still in China and parts around there. So we do not need to panic at this time. The risk is low. Thank you. Oh, and yeah, watch out for misinformation as well. And again, if you see someone or read somewhere saying, if you suspect with your home care patient, don't. Just talk to your supervisor. And oh, sorry, one more thing. I am hoping by now that your employer, as our has put out email blasts and text blasts, and has had an in-service about this and reiterating the importance of PPE and what to wear when, and the 4 points of hand hygiene, and all that sort of thing. If they haven't, I'd be surprised if they haven't, but if they haven't, approach them and say, hey, listen, we'd like some guidance on this. We're feeling a little, upset about it or a little anxious. Please help us out. And if you're in long-term care, go to your management. Yeah, so anyway, that's it for real this time. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe.